Today we're going to have a look at a game called Gloomhaven, which is based on the board game of the same name that costs over £100. So this is probably the cheaper, more sensible option. It's still in early access, so the campaign isn't available yet, but they do have a session called, or a mode called Guildmaster, which I've not played. So let's do this together. We'll play in normal. Enter a guild name. We'll call it the Dirty Hand. Don't know why. Welcome, Guildmaster. I'm the guild trainer, and I'm here to guide you through setting up your own mercenary guild. Let's start with you guiding the brute through this first tutorial. Before beginning the action, you'll want to acquaint yourself with how to adjust the view of the battlefield. So let's go over the camera controls. Pan the camera with the normal keys. So yeah, pretty standard. Cool. In Gloomhaven, you control a party of mercenaries, each equipped with a deck of ability cards. These cards are how your mercenaries will explore dungeons, fight enemies, and loot treasures. At the beginning of each round, the first thing to do is to select 2 cards for each mercenary using a turn. In this tutorial, the brute has just 3 cards at his disposal. So these are them here. Okay, music's very loud. Let's see what's going on there. Select Trample. See how the question mark next to the brute's portrait at the top of the screen has changed to a number. This shows his initiative. The number next to the first card you select determines the character's initiative for the round. The lower the number, the earlier in the round the character will act. Since I know what other character is visible right now, it will be the brute's turn. Makes sense. Select, grab, and go. Select, end selection. Brute's turn. Now it is the brute's turn. Time to choose some actions. Each half of the card represents an action comprised of 1 or more abilities. Grab and go, trample. You get to use 2 actions per turn, and you can pick up any of the 4 card halves on the left to use as your first action. But then you must use the opposite side. Okay. Okay. Oh, so you can use the... Oh, okay. There's nothing for Brute to do in this room, so you'll want to proceed through the door to see what lies beyond the move ability. Grab and go's bottom half lets the Brute move 4 hexes, which is enough to get through the door. Let's use that. Either click the door hex again, or click the open door. This room contains your first enemy, a bandit guard. Like player characters, monsters also select actions on their turn. Let's find out what this bandit's plans to do by hovering over its portrait. Bandit guard. Whilst hovered, you can see the bandit's intention. He plans to move and attack. Whereas the player character gets 2 actions per turn, the monsters only get 1. Okay. Notice how the bandit has a lower initiative than the brute and would have acted for the brute this round had he been visible. As it's currently the brute's turn, you'll get to finish before the bandit can act. Oh, okay, so it carries over the turn from the last round. That's cool. Now that you've finished using grab and go, you've got to use the attack. Whenever you attack, an attack modifier is very much like Dungeons and Dragons, or like the 5e system. or any tabletop RPG. Cool. Have it. Now it's the bandit's turn. We saw on this card earlier that he tends to move and perform a melee. However, he's already in melee range, so he simply just okay. So he doesn't do his move because he's already next to him. Whoa! Hello. So first he can take the damage. However, if you go to 0, your character exhausts, which means they can no longer act in this scenario. If all your mercenaries are exhausted, you will lose. Secondly, you can choose to burn 2 discarded ability cards. So those 2 cards I've used I can get rid of. Wow. So it's best to take the damage rather than burning cards, because if you burn the cards, you lose your abilities. Okay. Bandit's turn is over, and he was the last character to act. And a new round begins. So you have to rest to regain your abilities. Short rest will burn 1. So you lose 1 card but regain all the rest if you do a short rest, okay? If you do a long rest, you lose your whole turn but you regain your cards. And you get a heal? Okay. Grab and go. So Trample and Provoke and Roar have returned. So we want to pick Provoke and Roar because it's the lowest initiative. Okay, that makes sense. So Provoke and Roar into Trample. Now that we are in the same room as the bandit, we can see the enemies draw their ability cards each round after the players. So, okay, so you know what they'll be doing. Here's the bandit going to move attack. Oh, okay, so you can pick Provoke and Roar, which will give you the 10, but then you can use the other abilities from the cards. That's cool, okay. Just enough. You need to use the loot ability, which you do not have. So you don't automatically loot treasure. Oh yeah. This is where default actions come in handy. To the left and the right of the central initiative value are 2 small. Default move, default attack, okay, yeah. Since you only need to move 1 hex, you can skip the remaining movement using the skip button. Great work. Not only did you vanquish the lone bandit guard, you even managed to pick up a few pieces of gold. With the basics covered, it is now time to introduce you to some slightly more dangerous scenarios.